Hello everyone, I am Jack and I'm back. And it's one issue after another. So the the Z-axis, I can't test it because of the clearance issue with the platform. The whole mill has to be lowered down. I would have to take it off of the roll around things, and I don't want to do that until I make sure it's okay, because otherwise I just got to put it back on there and it's not easy to get on and off because of the low ground clearance. Then the Y-axis. Well, got an issue with the Y-axis that missing bearing won't let this slide easily, because if you look, it's fallen down right there, and that bolt that holds that bearing in place hits those bolts all along there, so that screws up getting the Y-axis motor. I did get it mounted, it's not wired, but no point in wiring it right now because it won't move without the bearing. So then I said, fine, I'll do the X-axis, that's this one here. Well, the problem, it wouldn't move. Didn't know if it was the motor, the gear on the motor. There it is. This thing, like I said, this thing got left out in the weather. So you can see the gear on the motor is heavily rusted. So I thought, all right, maybe that's what's causing the issue. And you can see, I wouldn't think that should, oh, there must be some wires touching when I was testing which was which. Yep. Okay, so anyway, it turns, but I didn't know that when it was mounted. So I took that off. It was mounted right there, and it still wouldn't slide back and forth. So then I tried spraying it with some lubricant. If you've never used this, Croil, used to be called Aero Croil. Stuff is great. It's expensive, but it's great. You know, if you're used to WD-40, this blows it away. I'd put it on the same level as PB Blaster. Actually, better. It's supposed to be better than PB Blaster. Anyway, I bought it because I said at some point I'm going to need a phenomenal penetrating oil. This stuff is it. So there we go. I went in, and if you look, there's rust on the rail here from being left out in the weather. So I sprayed it, not generously, but very little. And then I still couldn't get it to move, of course, because whatever's stuck with the rust was stuck. So I used my tie downs once again, did a tie down to that side, tie down to that side, made sure the opposite side was loose, and then I literally started moving it. At first it just moved a little bit. You can see where it used to be right there. You can see the marks. Moved just a little bit. I mean, literally, at like a 1/16 of an inch or something. I just kept working it back and forth, and finally I've gotten it to where it will slide. Not sure how far it'll slide. Let's see, loosen up that. Oops. And this, move the can. And I didn't go all the way. Let's see how far we go. It's going. Not easily still, but I can see that there's still rust there. So I could hit it with some sandpaper, emery, whatever. Sorry, I just kicked over my can of bolts, and when they fall all the way to the ground, and I have to crawl into this to get them. So I try not to knock this out. And I used to keep it on the rail, but now that this thing was moving back and forth, that was eliminated. All right, so this thing it's not going to cooperate. Let me get over here, see if I can push it. I know I can push it a little bit. The question is how far. That's pretty much it. There we go. So it's just going to take some working back and forth with some lubricant. But it does at least move now. So once I get this to where it's sliding closer to what it's supposed to slide, man, that thing's, I will hook back up the motor and then try wiring it up, and then trying to run that for my first test. Anyway, like I said, it's one issue after another. This thing's really been abused. All right, that's it. Like, subscribe, hit the alert, hit the thanks if you want to donate. And where's them Epstein files? You don't like what I'm doing? You don't know Jack. Bye.